and just say, good morning, One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living, and anybody else who is hopping on. And I want to invite our wonderful friend, family member, and a musician extraordinaire to open us with a song.
Perfect. I would like to, not to call anybody out, but can everybody mute, including people on the phone, those two?
I'll
Thank
mute
you.
Daddy. There we go.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, wherever you are, you know this song probably. And just for a refresher, it goes like, everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Sing it. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Okay, then the other part is 1, 2, 3, huh. Okay, right? Don't forget that part. That's the most important part of the song. Okay, here we go. Let's practice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, huh. Yes, great. With the motion as well. Everyone's so committed. I love it. Here we go. Okay. Here we go for real. I wake up early to the morning sun. I don't know how it does it every day. It rises up and then it falls again. Born only to die away. Look in the mirror and I see myself. I don't know how I do it every day. Standing on this big blue rock, not knowing what I'm doing here. Still believing there's a reason, keep on keeping on my way. Hey, each time I open my eyes, that's when I get to decide how I am gonna show up and show out in this life. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, huh! Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Sing it again. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. One more time. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Look at the clock, it's running day and night. Got no control in those little clock hands. A little soldier just marching through time. I'm so glad I am not a clock. I am alive and I can choose to dance each time I open my eyes. That's when I get to decide how I am gonna show up and show out in this life. Ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Everybody get up. It's funny to see it on Zoom. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Sing it. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Sing it like you mean it. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Funky. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh, get up. Get up, get up, and be grateful. Say, I'm up, I'm up, I'm up, and I'm thankful. Get up, oh, get up, oh, get up, and be grateful. I'm up, and I'm ready to play. Everybody, get up. Because we already said it, because it's a beautiful day. That's right, Michelle. Everybody, get up. Oh, because it's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah. Everybody get up, oh, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Everybody get up, oh, 'cause it's a beautiful day. 'Cause I'm extra today, yeah. So many riffs, so joyful riffing.
Joyful riffing. I love that. Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful day. I have a little bit of a scratchy throat, so I'm gonna pace myself this morning. I would like to invite our practitioner of the day, Rob McGregor, to open us up.
All righty. didn't prepare well for this, and I kind of warned Michelle that I was going to be kind of busy. But hey, what the heck? Michelle tells me that she's going to be speaking on kind of the theme of "Be Here Now." And I know that, and she also mentioned the CSL iteration of the topic, which is it's never too late and never too soon to embody the qualities of harmony, love, and joy despite our circumstances, which is a pretty good thing to talk about. And we teach that everything is God. And that means that you are looking probably at some electronic device that's got our pictures on it, hopefully. And behind that, you got maybe furniture or a wall or who knows what you got there. But all that stuff is God. And the space between the articles, the items that you're looking at, that's God too. And so there's good experiences and there's bad experiences that we have. We know that the bad experiences are basically created with our fear. We can have experiences of, say, a medical diagnosis we don't like, or we can have experiences of maybe some bill that is past due and we don't know how we're going to deal with it. But when we know that historically, we have had long before anybody ever heard of New Thought, which showed up around the 1800s. There's been spiritual practices. Prayer and meditation have existed since pretty much the dawn of human history. And what I notice about those things is that even though you don't have to limit your senses, the things that you can see with your senses or experience with your senses, that's kind of one world. And that's the world where the overdue bill exists, or the diagnosis exists, or the individual that doesn't seem to want to get along with you exists. But when we go inside, we stop experiencing God. It's all God. We stop experiencing God with our five senses and we start experiencing God with our hearts. And in that experience, there's no downside. It's all wonderful. And so I invite you to go within with me. If you feel like it, close your eyes. And if it's not your thing, then that's fine too, because I certainly do a lot of praying and even meditating without closing my eyes. But if I can, I do. And so I invite you to turn your attention within as we begin to experience God with our heart. And the way that looks is we can feel the existence of God. We can feel the goodness of God, and we can feel the oneness. It becomes much more real when we're not looking at separate items and suddenly we're looking at just the feeling of God. And it's a wonderful warmth that radiates from God continuously. God is transmitting 24/7, and we can tune into that anytime we want. And right now, I am choosing for us to feel that goodness. And I suggest that to start with, we focus on the feeling of peace. And there is peace throughout all the universe. Everything is peaceful and wonderful and good, and we can enjoy it. And I suggest to you that we are enjoying that peace right now. That wondrous peace of God that we have tuned into, that is filling our lives. And beyond that, you can feel the harmony of God, because all the disparate parts aren't really disparate. They're all one thing, and it becomes more obvious now, and everything works together to enhance your life. All of this stuff Everything that exists for you now, that you can have fun with it and you can play with it. It's just the most delightful system. It couldn't be better. That's why we use the word perfect so much. It is absolutely perfect. And I invite you to tune in to the joy that emanates from God continuously, the continuous transmission of joy that you can feel in your heart. And as you turn your attention to it more and more, you become more joyous and you feel better. Life gets better and better and better. And as you are doing this, notice that also love is emanating from God. You are so loved and you can feel it. That's the beauty of this. You can feel the love of God in real time. I am feeling it. I am feeling it for you. And I am feeling that you can feel it too. And this is just so absolutely wondrous. And this is the delight in which we live. And so I do say, thank you, God, for all of this that we can come to anytime we feel like it. And the beauty, the really magnificent part of this is even though we are within the part where we are not using our five senses, we are simply using our hearts. The time we spend in this space experiencing God directly is time we are not concentrating on our fears. And what this is doing is making the outer even better. The bills, the conflicts, the symptoms we might have are lessening just because we are turning our attention to the magnificence. So thank you, God, for the most perfect system we could ever wish for. We couldn't imagine a better system because there just couldn't be one. Thank you, God, for this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I release my word unto the universe. I let it be. I let it go. And as the one that we say, and so it is. And now, just to follow along with the tradition, Michelle's going to put up our affirmation of the month. I know it's coming.
Can you see it yet? It's up.
Yeah. We got it.
All right.
And what we know about this is that it says, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. In gratitude and trust, we give and receive from the abundance of God's good." And so it is. And I think I'm done.
Thank you so much. Wow, that was powerful. I couldn't ask for a better prequel to the talk. That was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Hey, Jesse, do you have some more music for us?
Yeah, I do. This is my breathing song. So everybody just take a nice deep breath right now. And keep doing that through the whole song. I don't want to give words to this. And anything you have to interpret will only eclipse the heart of it. I just want to send it in sound with a wavelength clarity. Ooh, nothing I could ever say will resonate the same way that this love does in me. Inhale, exhale, breathe. Oh, that feels so good. Somewhere in the beat of your heart, there I am. And somewhere underneath all the war-torn believing, and there you have always been. It's something like a melody, it's something like a song, and it sings itself and it's never wrong. Oh, everywhere it plays for me, it's always on repeat. It's the love song of everything. Inhale, exhale, breathe. It's not just there in my body, oh, it's not just there in the thoughts that I think. It's there in the roots, in the skies and the seas, in the eyelids, the irises, the wind and the wings, in the will be, the ever was, the reason and the just because. I am the song that I sing. Inhale, exhale,
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for that. Oh, oh yeah, let's everybody take one more nice deep breath. That was so beautiful. Really, wow. We have some amazing souls in our little community. So again, I want to, as always, I want to just welcome everybody to One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living on this beautiful Father's Day in June. And whether you are joining us in real time or replay, you know, I just trust that something in this service is going to touch your heart and open you up to that divine presence, your divine nature, and so that you can express it and feel it in a fresh new way, and for the benefit of your own life and the uplift of your own life, as well as the collective consciousness of the world. So I want to just say right at the beginning, thank you, Rob, for that gorgeous intro. And you want to know how powerful our thoughts are? You want to know how powerful you are? I was telling this a little earlier, but I was bragging on one of the last days of my substitute teacher job. I was bragging to one of the teachers, you know what? I've managed to not get sick the entire year. And I never got sick. And I in my head, I knew I was never going to get sick. And somehow or another, my subconscious, my subjective mind heard, oh, well, school's over now, so now you can get sick. Because it's Friday, I started getting this cough. So I'm apologizing in advance if I have to stop and take a drink of water. But boy, I tell you, spirit listens. So I thought that was pretty funny, really. Another demonstration, validation in the wrong way, but that's okay. And it tells me about the power. So happy Father's Day. You know, I love to celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day. And I think, you know, not only because it's an opportunity to celebrate the lives of our earthly fathers or anyone who has filled that role for us, but it's also an opportunity to pause and honor the spiritual essence of the divine masculine, which is within everyone. You know, it's an essential part of the beautiful creative process. You know, the divine masculine is kind of the archetype of strength expressed through gentleness, of authority, but tempered with compassion, and of wisdom that is always rooted in love. You know, who wouldn't want that in a father, right? We honor these qualities the same way that we honored the expression of God as the divine feminine last month. You know, we talked about the nurturing, receptive aspect of the divine, and together they create the balance necessary for creation. But today, of course, we're celebrating and honoring Father's Day, which is, you know, kind of the steady guiding presence that it encourages growth, right? It affirms our strength and our power, and it calls us to move forward, you know, into greater expressions of life. And in this sense, when we think of it from that perspective, we are all, regardless of our gender, the fathers of our lives, you know, and expressing the divine masculine in a loving way into the world. We're contributing that into the collective whole and the collective consciousness. So as Rob said, today's talk is entitled, It's Never Too Late and It's Never Too Soon. And I didn't even really look at the outline from our parent organization. I just went, what does this mean to me? And it really drew my attention to the concept of being in the present moment. That right here, right now is the power moment. And it's never too soon and it's never too late to move into that moment. You know, it's the moment that we connect with it. We connect with the balance and the harmony and the order of the divine, you know, and we're free to co-create with the divine presence. And of course, that's what Science of Mind teaches. Ernest Holmes, our founder, he wrote that there is no past and no future in the eternal now. There is no past and no future in the eternal now. This now is God. This now is you. This is the moment right here, right now. You know, and I've personally experienced this to be true. You know, it's in the here and now moment that we choose, either consciously or unconsciously. I certainly didn't choose consciously to get sick, but I did unconsciously. This is what we demonstrate into our lives from either a perspective of our oneness with God or from a perspective of our separation from God. It's in this here and now moment that we open ourselves to the potential that's available within divine mind, or I like to call it the infinite field of potential. It sounds so great, like somewhere I can go to embody whatever is available in whatever I want to feel, however I want, whatever I want to demonstrate. Or we can also recreate our past experiences. You know, that's why the here and now is the power moment, because this is where we connect with God and co-create our next moment. Even if we're thinking about the past or if we're pondering the future, we're still doing it in the present moment. You know, we're conscious only in the present moment. And here, you know, we can either recreate the experience of our past through our repetitive patterns of thinking and feeling, you know, telling ourselves the same story we've always told, or we can step into that infinite imagination and possibility in God and create something that is completely outside of any experience we've had before. You know, and we don't even have to know exactly what that will look like or how it will come about. We only have to know how we feel, how we want to feel. I talked about this in great depth last week, about how we want to feel and how our feelings impress law. We only have to create the felt experience of our desired outcome, and the love and the law of God will do the rest. It'll take over from there. You know, I was trying to relate this idea of being fully present in the here and now to the celebration of Father's Day and to the divine masculine. And it's actually connected in a very basic way. I did the same thing when I was talking about mother, the divine feminine. Fathering, as well as mothering, is an aspect of God, an aspect of the creative process. And fathering is the first step in demonstrating consciousness into form, which is what we do. The divine masculine is that initiating power. It's the chooser, the thinker, the seed idea. It's a symbol of conscious, direct will. That's just the way, it's just the way that it impresses into law. It's received into the cranium, medium of law, the divine feminine. But all this is still happening in the here and now, in the present moment. And we actively participate with this process by what we think and how we feel. Honestly, I'm a big fan of how we feel. We contribute either to our oneness with the love and the peace and the harmony and the order of God's nature, or from a sense of separation, which fosters fear and confusion and division. We can see that demonstrate as well. Colds and dis-ease. I read a funny story about a little girl who walked into the garage to find her father just standing there motionless, staring at a pile of tangled extension cords. I'm sure we've all seen this. And she asks, "Dad, what are you doing?" And he says, "Thinking," with a big sigh. And she asks, "About what?" And he says, "About the mystery of the universe, the meaning of life, and how these extension cords could have possibly gotten so tangled up before I've even touched them. Because I know I didn't leave them this way." And his daughter looks at her dad, and she looks at the tangled mess for a few minutes, and she says, "That's probably the same way God feels about people." And when I read the story, it reminded me of what I see going on in the world around us right now. It seems kind of like a tangled mess of extension cords. But here's the thing. I have a knowing. It's beyond belief. It's a knowing that underneath what looks like confusion and chaos, tangled up extension cords, something new is pushing itself up to be born, revealing and releasing the old, and paving the way for something that is in harmony with the peace and the love and the freedom and the equality and all of the other aspects of the divine, of God, so that we can be both individually and collectively the fathers and the mothers of this great awakening that I believe is happening, that I know is happening. And we can contribute our presence of love, of peace, of freedom and unity right here and right now to the collective experience of humanity. Because as we know, and I love to say, consciousness precedes form, and a collective consciousness is very powerful. So my understanding and my experience of what it means to be here now is moving my conscious awareness beyond the realm of time and space, beyond our human reality, what we're living in the 3D world. I love the way Joe Dispenza says that. He says that to move into conscious union, we have to become no body, no where, no time. We have to move into that place where we let go of all of our human identity and move into that space of connection. Because this is the space where we feel our connection to the divine presence, and where we access the field of infinite possibility here and now. And we feel this connection in our times of meditation and prayer, but we also feel it anytime when we are able to pull back from our what the world tells us, what we experience through our 5 human senses, and we perceive it from the larger reality of life. So here's what I understand, kind of using both the language of science and spirituality. Scientists for a long time have been looking for a unified theory of reality. They kind of have to reduce everything down, all known phenomena into the physical universe that exists in the physical universe, down into a single principle. I'm going to take a drink of water. My brain is a little fuzzy today. Take that back. I don't want to make that real. So they have to reduce everything down to kind of this single principle. It's a process of reducing things down to see how they're all connected to one fundamental principle, to distill, if you will, the true nature of reality into one unifying truth, which means that even space and time has to be reduced to a fundamental principle. And the most fundamental reduction of space is a single dimensionless point. And the most fundamental reduction of time is a single timeless moment. And we can say this is called here and now. And from this point of view, everything is within the here and now. And if everything is a product of this one dimensionless point and timeless moment, aka God, then our human experience of the volume of space and the unfolding moments of our lives is a reflection of what we draw from this here and now space. We localize in time and space what we draw from this one timeless and spaceless point. So I don't want to get too far out in the weeds here, but we could say that here and now is not on a timeline, but an ever unfolding edge of creation itself. I love to call it the green growing edge. So the here and now moment is the unfolding edge of creation itself. I love that image. We're human beings here to live and experience our divinity through our humanity. And we're empowered to do that by knowing our true nature and letting this be the seed idea that we plant into law. Here and now is the birthplace of our experience. It's where consciousness becomes form. It's where we have access to the mind of God and to the infinite field of potential. And this is not an intellectual exercise. Rob said that in his opening too. This is not an intellectual exercise. It is a path of heart. It's a way to live in the mystery of what is beyond our intellectual understanding through our felt experience, our connection to our divine nature. That was a lot. So I have this story. There's a story called Mirror Lake. And the story goes that long ago, before there were stars or planets or even thoughts, there was stillness and an infinite field of presence. And within this vast, silent beingness lived a soul, resting in pure unity, with no beginning and no ending. And in one moment, which is no moment at all, this soul whispered, I want to experience what I really am. And suddenly there was a radiant point of light and a drop of awareness in the sea of eternity. And the light became the soul's sense of self. And it descended from the formless into form, much like us. And she called herself Amara. And Amara means deathless or immortal in Sanskrit. And she found herself, now that she's in form, standing by a beautiful lake. Mirror Lake, it was called. And it reflected the sky and the birds and the trees and the wind and the water and Amara's own beautiful face. And for a moment, as she stood by the lake, she felt this kind of wave of sadness move through her. And she began to weep at the loss of her feeling of unity. But the lake whispered to her, look closely. And she realized that the light that moved through time and space was the same light that was with her in the stillness. And suddenly she realized who she was, that she was still in the unity of the all that is. Time didn't disappear, but it softened And space didn't vanish, but it became fluid. She was living in form, but she knew it was happening in the here and now, in the eternal moment, where the infinite meets the finite, where one becomes many, just for the joy of seeing itself through different eyes. And from then on, Amara, she walked and breathed and cried and laughed, but she no longer felt separate. She lived in time while remembering eternity. And this is the practice, right? Isn't this is my practice. This is the practice. This is spirituality, the advanced course, to bring this infinite through the here and now moment into experience, into form. And when we get off track, we simply pull ourselves back into remembering our infinite nature. So here comes the title. It's never too late and it's never too soon. It's always here in the here and now moment. We can always shift. We can always start again. So, what are some ways we can focus on practically bringing this principle alive in our daily lives? How can we live it? Well, one of the ways is through the practice of mindfulness. And we've all heard that term probably if we've been in any kind of spiritual atmosphere before. Mindfulness is simply the practice of consciously bringing our full attention to the present moment, to the here and now, with openness and curiosity, without judgment. It's being aware of what we're doing and how we're feeling and what we're experiencing right here, right now, rather than being lost in thoughts and feelings about the past or about the future. And, firing those same old neural pathways so that we recreate that past experience. I tell you, I want to create something new. Mindfulness is a way to honor the sacredness, the sacredness of that moment, of the here and now moment, and really to live with some clarity about what's happening around us and some compassion for ourselves and others, and with a sense of peace in our heart, knowing that no matter what is happening around us, we don't have to be defined by that moment, by the experience. We don't have to be defined by past experiences. We don't have to be defined by what's happening right now. Honestly, I just had this experience. I think I've shared it with most of you, but my husband was in the hospital last week, not this past week, but the week before. And I found him in excruciating pain and said, okay, we got to go to the ER. He was having none of it, wouldn't have anything to do with it. So what am I going to do, right? There was really nothing I could do. I finally did convince him that we had to go to the ER, but I couldn't fix the problem. I just had to be with the situation. I couldn't ignore it, but I found myself just going, okay. I went to principle. I said a silent prayer. I asked spirit for support. And I had to be in here and now. I had to be with what was without letting it define the drama. I didn't get caught in the drama, without letting what was happening in the situation or what I imagined was happening to carry me away. I had to be present with spiritual principle, and I find myself having exactly that same experience as I look around and start getting caught up in the tangled extension cords that I see going on all around me. I want to figure out how we can possibly untangle the mess rather than to surrender to a presence that has a greater perspective, that always has the last word, that will rise up from underneath the tangled extension cords and bring order and peace and balance into the situation. My part is just to be a vibrational match to the qualities that I know will be able to untangle the extension cords, or at least bring order to what looks like chaos and confusion and division, to bring that order, harmony, balance, freedom into the situation. It will rise up. My part is to draw up the felt experience of these qualities and allow that to become my prayer. To stop, the incessant chatter in my brain about, oh my God, what are we doing? And move into the experience of spiritual truth, into the qualities of the divine. I read something really interesting the other day about what happens to our brains when we practice mindfulness. I was looking for stuff on mindfulness. I just happened to run across this. When we consciously move into union with the divine in the here and now space of connection. And a woman named Dr. Lisa Miller, she gathered together people from all different faith traditions and philosophies. So it didn't matter what their idea of God or spirituality was. And she did a scan of their brains as they moved into a space of mindfulness. And what she discovered was that in every participant, the bonding network in their brains lit up. It's that higher social part of the brain in our prefrontal cortex, and it lit up when they moved into a mindfulness state. And it's the same bonding network that fires when we're children and we're held in our parents' arms and we feel safe and loved and comforted, which makes me think that as human beings, we are wired to receive the love and the support and the connection of that universal transcendent presence, whatever you want to call it, and however we perceive it, and engage with it. And we, as we move into that open state, we become these channels of its love and its peace and its care and its comfort. So the practice of mindfulness, or any spiritual practice that opens us up to feeling the presence of God, is a path of heart. It connects us. It opens us to the flow of God's goodness and grace. Grace is just the action of love in our lives. And I'm sorry. Dr. Miller wrote in her book, it's called The Awakened Brain, and I'm paraphrasing here, but she said that we are loved, held, guided, and never alone, and that we're wired to experience our source. And when we do, everything in our world is reordered. She said that the most important dimension of a spiritual life is to bond with each other, to love one another. And as we do that, we're able to draw closer to God. I can just imagine being able to see the God in all things, all situations, in all moments. Mindfulness allows us to go closer to the experience of God, to love ourselves more deeply, to love each other more deeply, to be the presence of love in the world. And mindfulness is not hard. It's pretty simple, really. It's just a few simple things. You pause, you stop whatever you're doing, and you gently close your eyes, or you just soften your gaze. It really doesn't matter, as Rob said in his meditation. Depends on where you are. And then you just breathe. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. You can put on Jesse's song about breathing. You feel the air entering your body. You pause, you breathe, and you notice. Tune into your human senses and ask yourself, what do I hear? What do I feel physically? What do I feel emotionally? And how do I want to feel? And then you can move past just those 5 senses, and you can affirm, I am here now. I am one with the divine presence. This moment is enough. All is well. And then you can return to your day much more grounded in the spaciousness of life. I was reading, his name escapes me right now, but his daily affirmation was, isn't it wonderful that something magnificent is happening to me right now? That would be a good affirmation to say as you pause in mindfulness. So just like the story of Amara, she was able to experience the beauty and the magnificence of life without letting the world tell her she was separate, knowing that she could still experience the presence and her unity with all of it. the divine, you know, and still live and be in the world of form. I heard this quote, and I don't remember who said it, and it described it beautifully. It said, I think it was a Jewish author or rabbi or something, and he said, we want to taste the honey, but we don't want to be the honey. We want to experience the wonder of life, but we don't want to be defined by the wonder in life of life. So, so knowing that, let's just take a moment. Let's pause. Let's breathe. Let's move into how we feel right now. Oh, feel deep joy, deep connection with my beautiful spiritual family and all of life. I know that there is something magnificent rising up from the depths of spiritual truth that doesn't even have to untangle the extension cords. It's just gonna kick them aside and bring a whole new order, harmony, and balance to the world. We don't have to fix anything. We create something fresh and new from the reality of the divine presence. I know that to be true for each and every one of us, individually and collectively. We create anew from the joy, the peace, the beauty, the wisdom, the wholeness, the creativity, the laughter, the music, the allness of the divine presence itself, the vibration of the good of God and the radiance of its light. For I just hold this truth. I know this truth. I know it for us all. And I know it for all people in the LA area, that this is just a blip on the map, and that order and peace and love are established here, that the good of God expresses itself. So for this and so much more, I simply say thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you for the ability to start fresh in every moment. It's never too late. It's never too soon. It's always here and now. And with that, we simply say, and so it is. So it is. Perfect timing, because I'm about to lose my voice. Oh, well, that was fun. I'm going to put us back in gallery. Ah, am I the one that's doing the sacred giving, or is somebody else? I think it's me. Pretty sure. Maybe not. Oh, you know what, Rob? I just realized I put up the wrong thing, didn't I, for you to read? I put up the sacred giving thing instead of, oh, my bad. Oh, well. I'll put up the affirmation for the month now, since
That's funny. I didn't even catch that. I'm just do my duty and read stuff.
That's really kind of funny. So I'll put up June's affirmation instead. We'll read the June's affirmation instead of the sacred giving. Oh, it's funny the things we do. Oh, it's all good. So here's our affirmation for June, which we can use as an affirmation for the givingness of God. So before I put it up, I just want to say that we all know the mechanisms through which we give to our center. We give through snail mail to my address. I'm not going to put up all the stuff. If you don't have that, just text me or I'll put it in the chat. And otherwise, Venmo is the most convenient. It's at OMOH Center with a capital C, and you'll see my picture. It's pretty easy peasy. So let's read Jude's affirmations, since I didn't do it before. That's funny. All right, so here's Jude's affirmation. We celebrate the one divine presence expressing as many. We honor all paths as sacred and all people as divine. Within life's unity and diversity, we behold the wholeness of God. We walk together in love and gratitude. Oh, I like that. And I suppose we could do that. We could do the other one too, just for fun. And the other one is our sacred giving. That cracks me up that I did this. Let's see. My little thing is in the way. Okay. Given it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. That's from Luke, from the Bible. And every time I read that, I think of Eddie Watkins Jr. because he does a beautiful rendition of that. So in gratitude and trust, we give and receive from the abundance of God's good here and now. And so it is. And so it is. Ugh. You know, it's always funny. I always find it funny that when I come into the community and speak, sometimes I'll come in kind of like today. I came in kind of tired, not feeling really great. Now I got this abundance of energy moving through me. It's great. Oh, so announcements are tomorrow. We'll do our prayer group. Tuesday, we're doing chapter 9 in The Universe Has Your Back, which is such a great book. I'm really enjoying it. At first, I have to admit, I was thinking, oh, is this too fundamental? But I love her approach. Simple, clean, right to the point, practical, applicable to daily life. It's wonderful. And so for that, I'm super grateful. Marcia brought that idea to us, and I really like it. Let's see. What day is it? 28th, right, Abigail? She's having her labyrinth walk that we're all going. If you've never been to her labyrinth walk, it is fun.
Yes, June 28th. It's actually two Saturdays. Yeah, 2 weeks.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and do you want me to put my address in the chat for people, or?
I have it in.
Okay. Oh, it's on your newsletter. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So it's from 10:30 to 12:30.
Yeah, if somebody doesn't have it, let me know and I'll make sure you get it. But it's a lot of fun. What I've noticed every time I walk the labyrinth, when I first get out on the labyrinth, I call it my labyrinth legs. I'm feeling like really wobbly, and it takes a minute. And then I find that groundedness in the labyrinth, and then I can just walk really easily and gently and deliberately without really having to think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
I've had other people say the same thing. In fact, some years ago when we had youth, we had some teenagers come on board from St. Bart's Church. And one of the, well, maybe one or two, but for sure one of them said, I felt like I was just, like you said, wobbling. That's a great word for it. Kind of like just not quite steady, but then, because the labyrinth itself is a spiritual energy. And so you're feeling it when you walk it. Sometimes I don't feel wobbly when I walk it, but I put my hands down and my palms down towards the rocks. Mm-hmm. And I can feel the energy coming up from the rocks. It's like a little vibration. Mm-hmm. So everybody feels a little bit differently. So it's all unique to each person. So yeah, I would love to have as many as possible. So you're all welcome. I'm happy that I can do it again. Yay!
Yeah, me too. It was really so nice. So yeah, so that's happening. And let's see. Anything else? Nothing else I can think of right now. So I'll just do a little benediction. So taking in a nice deep breath. Oh, holding that space. I'm just going to pray gratitude. Let's just pray gratitude. Feel what gratitude feels like. Gratitude is a fullness, a creative energy arising up within us. It's that cutting edge of creation, that unfolding creative edge that we find in the here and now. It's that green growing edge saying, thank you. Yes, I want more. And it moves us into a space of that greater yet to be that we can't even intellectually know. But we can know it through our heart and through our feeling. We can move into the mystery and the love of the all that is, lifting and supporting, guiding, loving. So it is this that we end our service today. I'm so grateful for Rob and his prequel. I'm so grateful for Jessie and her music. I am so grateful for the presence of each and every one of these divine, beloved beings that are on the call, and anyone who hears this in the future. So for this, I just say thank you. I just relax in knowing that all is well, and together we say, and so it is. So it is. All right, Jessie, I've got to rest my voice now.
Okay, so I was feeling so lovey-dovey between Rob's short talk and your talk. I'm just feeling the heart-centered love and that idea of like coming back to oneself and the reuniting of the mind and spirit and body. And so I have this song, and it sounds like it's about a couple who have been separated maybe since, you know, the beginning of one of their lives. And maybe this one person has been waiting in the ethers to be discovered by the other person. Anyway, so it's a love story, but it's a love story about you and what happens inside you. Left my love long ago. Thought I'd give myself a try, and I wandered far away from home. I left my memories to find. I was gone so long I forgot I'd left, until I found my love in a stranger's eyes. I wouldn't trade that thrill for anything. All I wanted was to find myself, so I had to hide. And I said, how long did I live without you? How long, how long? He said, don't you worry, don't you cry. Let's make love all day, all night. I've been waiting for you all your life. Let's make love all day, all night. That's what it's like when I go into meditation. I wandered down a darkened path, and I learned to make my way alone. I learned to fight, I learned to run. Learned that every road leads straight back home. And he said, how long did you think you'd live without me? How long, how long? Woo! Don't you worry, don't you cry. Let's make love all day, all night. I've been waiting for you all your life. Let's make love all day, all night. And I said, how long did I live without you? He said, you just needed time and a little stillness. Baby, isn't that the thrill of being alive? Remembering all the love you left behind. He said, don't you worry, don't you cry. Let's make love all day, all night. I've been waiting for you all your life. Let's make love all day, all night. Knew you were coming back home tonight, so I bought us a bottle of sweet red wine. Let's raise a glass to space and time, and let's make love all day, all night. 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 A quirky way to express that idea.
I love that. Love it, love it, love it. That was perfect. Yeah. It's the divine lover, right? Love it, love it. Oh, well, thank you all so much. I am going to stop our recording, and I will post this on our Facebook page. I've stopped doing live stream to Facebook because it really depletes my bandwidth, but I do put the link on Facebook. And so you can see it for a while. All right. Goodbye, all you recording people.